Okay, how's everybody doing again? I'm back in the saddle again. My name is Kent, and the channel is EOS San Diego, and I make a nightly video about the EOS blockchain. And I only cover EOS for the most part. I sacrifice talking about other blockchains or other cryptocurrencies because I'm exclusively about EOS. I only talk about EOS. I realize I would have a much broader audience if I talked about other blockchains. But for me, EOS is the one that I think has the best chances of prospering. And so that's why I only talk about EOS. So as you can see, the EOS token has done very well over the last 7 days, up 52%. So it's really going well. I mean, it's in the $4 range. We started in the $2.40-50 range for a long period of time, and it's rocketed up over $4.30, $4.29. With a lot of volume, over 2.4 billion in volume and over 4.4 billion market cap right now. So things are going extremely well for EOS. And like I say, I only cover EOS. And I only cover EOS because this is the blockchain I know that scales to activity, and it's the blockchain that has the proof of stake protocol, which is the only blockchain that will meet the demands of what needs to be done in the future to put everything on blockchain. And I do believe everything will go on blockchain. And I also believe, somebody wrote me the other day, we are now that much closer to the $100 party. In fact, I've been talking to people about this a little bit, and it's moving up quickly. People have to realize in cryptocurrency, things don't go, when they go, they really, really go. And you're seeing that right now, 52% in 7 days. That's incredible. That's like nothing any stock will ever do for you. 52% in 1 day. Incredible stuff. So it's exciting. I'm glad that it's going on this way, because it's a lot easier for me to talk about EOS and get people excited about it when the price is going up 52% in 7 days. When EOS is hanging around the $2 range, $2.50 range, and it stays there, it's real easy for the FUD to start coming in, and it makes everything more difficult. It makes development more difficult. It makes people getting excited about learning about EOS. Everything gets more difficult. So, but in these days, as we're seeing, everything gets more exciting, and I believe we are on a bull run. A lot of people will say sometimes I've heard it a bunch of times, the dead cat bounce. Your dead cat doesn't bounce. So it's like you're talking about bounces. Well, I don't think we're in that kind of a bounce. I think we're going up higher, and I think we're going to stay a lot higher. So anyway, what I want to talk about tonight is I want to actually talk about, there was an and I want to bring this up. This was a while back. This is in 2018, where Block.one, and I don't know if this is the last one they put out or not, but anyway, Block.one vows to use its tokens to prevent voting cartels. So what it is, and I've made some videos about some of the stuff going on with voting and about block producers. And someone asked me, is it always going to be this way? Is this the way it's going to be? The block producers are block producers. Will they stay block producers, or will something else happen? And I wrote that person back, and I said, no. I said, Block.one has 100 million tokens, and of the billion outstanding. So they have a really strong power to change how the block producers are lined up. So Block.one can come in and just take the whole 21 out and rearrange them if they wanted to. I think that this says 110 of 18, but there was one earlier or later than that. I think there was one in, let me see if I can find that one. Here was October 1st of 18. This is a lot later. So this is another time. So it's like they talked about this twice. But this one says 110. But anyway, I believe this was in October. I don't know why this says this is something else. I don't know. It's hard sometimes to find when these things were written. But I believe this was latter part of last year, because I made a video about this at the time, because I thought maybe Block.one would start voting with their tokens. And I just want to read a quote here, and I think it was by Brendan Bloomer. And I'll just read right here. I'm going to highlight it so we can read it. He said, we are aware of some unverified claims regarding irregular block producer voting and the subsequent denial of those claims. We believe it is important to ensure a free and democratic election process within EOS, and we may, as we deem appropriate, vote with other holders to reinforce the integrity of this process. We continue working on our potential involvement with goal of empowering the intent of greater community through transparent process that incorporates community feedback. Didn't read that very well because it didn't really flow, but he's got a point there, and his point is that we can vote and we will vote to maintain the integrity of this blockchain. I think they will vote. I believe they will vote anytime they deem necessary, and they will vote, and I think it will be 100% they'll vote. I don't know when, but they will vote. I don't know when it's going to happen, but they will vote. Block.one will vote with their 100 million tokens at some point. I don't know when, but they will vote. And of course, you can go ahead and read some of the other stuff. So all these claims have been pretty widely shown on the internet. If you do any kind of searches at all, you can read about this. But anyway, I do believe one day they will vote with their tokens. So I believe that Block.one is they're aware of everything going on. And of course, they want to maintain the integrity. So people that are concerned about that, I don't think that's as big a concern as to really consume a lot of time and energy, because I do think that Block.one will have a stake in this, and they will have some say in how this gets resolved. So anyway, I just want to make mention of that because somebody brought that up to me. They asked me about this, and I said, I think Block.one has the power to change it if they will it. And of course, Block.one has a very strong interest by owning 100 million tokens to keep things very safe and to keep things very democratic and to keep things with a lot of integrity. And I always said that if you're wanting to become a block producer, you should be able to rise up from zero and have an opportunity to be a block producer and have an opportunity to be a reward and also an opportunity to be in the top 21. We are testing that theory out right now, and we are struggling with that right now to try to get up into some reward area of it. I've made a couple of videos about that. So, but I think for EOS to be strong and maintain a good integrity and position, that has to be achievable for everybody that puts effort into it. And you have to, obviously put some effort into it, but it shouldn't be that there's just this barrier between somebody that wants to run a node and somebody that already has a position that they continue to maintain without anybody ever being able to break through. I don't think that's good for the chain. I don't think that's good for EOS. So I don't think that that serves EOS very well. And I think Block.one understands that too. The other thing I want to make mention to is I want to make mention of the fact this is a very hot market right now, up to 52%. And I want to make mention to people that are renting tokens, when you tie up your tokens and renting them, you can't sell them. So they're tied up but while you're renting. So as this market goes up, your tokens are tied up. And I also read this. I just plugged this in. It said rent tokens and still receive airdrops. So I was wondering about that myself. It says it seems that renting one's token comes at an additional cost of missing the airdrops. Will there be any way to still receive airdrops while leasing tokens? And it says here, some airdrops like Hours Pay will airdrop only to Genesis block holders. That means if you had your token the day of the Genesis notch up, you get 1-to-1 according to your EOS token. Otherwise, like said in this website right here, we'll go to it in a second. I can never pronounce that word. Your tokens are moved to a leasing contract address. That means you are not in control of your tokens while they're being rented. So you need to keep that in mind. You're not in control of those tokens while they're being rented out. And I'll go to this website and see what other stuff they have. Okay. Wow. It looks like they got a not secure site. So I don't know if I'll be able to get any more information than that. So let me go back here. Let me get out of this non-secure site. So yeah, you need to keep that in mind. When the market's going up and you're leasing your tokens, you need to be careful because you could get caught in a very long-term lease. I think maybe I do have another place where I had some stuff about this. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the white paper. So however you pronounce it, I can't remember. But anyway, here you need to read through this very, very, very carefully during this period of time where you have a very, very strong market. And when you lease or tie up your tokens, you are not in control of these tokens. Somebody else is. And I don't, if you want to sell, I don't think you can sell, and you have to wait for the lease to expire. I'm trying to read through here real quick, see if they have any information about how you can get out of a lease if you decide you want to take advantage of a really good market. Let's see if I can find it here anyplace. Storage leasing, ethical leasing, advanced leasing contracts. Okay, let me see that. I don't know if that's it. Okay, that's not helping me out. Read up here a little bit more. Like I say, you need to read this carefully if you're going to lease your tokens, because you need to know every little nuance of this contract. And it's not a big deal if EOS is hanging flat and nothing's happening with it, with the token. But if you're in a really good market like we are right now, you want to be able to have access to your EOS. Let me see here. And I did read through some of this a little bit earlier. And like I say, you got to really think about it when you're reading it. It's not like a quick read, easy to, let me see what it says, expire. I'm going to just read this real quick because this might give me some information. Conceivably, a defined expiry date could be extended later to include a perpetual lease. See, this is why you need to pay attention. Perpetual lease, or perpetuity lease. Wow, that means indefinitely. Conceivably, a defined expiration date could extend later to include perpetuity lease, with an agreement periodic review monthly, annually, which sets the price in line with market rates. I think they're talking about the rate they give for leasing, or with an agreed inflation increase such as 5% annually. Such instruments will only come about as a result of community feedback. Okay, so they're talking about a perpetuity lease. You don't want to get into one of those. You just don't want to do that. That would be very, very hard. That'd be, you'd be sitting here watching EOS go up, and you can't sell, or you can't take advantage, or you can't take some off the table, or you can't sell on a dip, maybe sell on a dip and buy back later. So I don't know how many of these leasing arrangements there are out there. I haven't really kept that track of it. I really don't even know who does it, because I've never really been that interested in leasing, because I always want to maintain control of my EOS. But I just want to make mention to that and make sure everybody is aware of the fact that if you get yourself tied up in a lease, you may not be able to sell your EOS, especially if you got a good market like we have now, 52%. So anyway, keep that in mind. If you want to do that, you get a very small percentage back. Like I say, when EOS is real flat, not doing well, that may not be a bad idea, but they're a very good market. I'd be more careful about how I control my EOS. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.